Hello, welcome back. I'm Tonya from Tonya's Witchy Kitchen, and how are you doing today? I'm doing better. Yeah, doing better, feeling better. Still have my, throat thing, but oh well. Anyway, I have a question for you. Of course I do. How do you value money? Like, when you want to buy something, how do you look at it? Do you look at it as this is going to cost me X amount of hours of work to buy? Or especially if it's a want, if it's a need, that's a little bit different when it's an absolute 100% need. But when it's something like you really want it and you've sat there and you analyzed, do you really need it as a want, but you want it? So then after that, how do you break it down? I'll give you an example. I've done this for years, okay? So my husband smokes cigarettes. And when we got married, cigarettes were $2 a pack. Through my married life, if I was going to buy something and I hesitated on it, but I really wanted it, I would be like, how many packs of cigarettes is this? I mean, it's really not a fair analogy, but however, that's how I looked at it. Like, how many packs of cigarettes would my husband smoke for me to buy this, right? Like I would buy books, right? And not a lot. Public libraries are great, and now they have the digital online, So, I mean, I did a lot of reading, I've read a lot of books out of our public library, but every once in a while, grocery shopping, I would see a book that I was like, oh, I might be collecting that one, or, as part of a series or whatever. And so back then the books were like $6 a book for a paperback, which was probably what I made per hour if I was lucky at the time. And, but I would be like, well, how many cigarettes is this? How many packs of cigarettes is this? 3. That is 3 days of him smoking, okay, versus me buying a book once a month. And I'd be like, yeah, that's justifiable. And I tend to still do the same thing now. Even though things are really, really, really different now than they were back then, I still judge things on packs of cigarettes. Isn't that weird? I mean, most people I know will judge it on how many hours do they have to work, okay, I have to work an extra 2 hours to justify buying this or whatever. But I've always done it on packs of cigarettes. Don't ask me why. Maybe because I think cigarettes are a total waste. And this is a priority issue because, some people, chew tobacco, or some people drink beer. Some people, we all have I shouldn't say we all have our thing. So, I was thinking that the other day. I can't remember what I was thinking about buying. Oh, yeah, I do. But anyway, if you understand the gist of what I'm saying, how do you value things? How do you sort them out? I mean, if it's not a need, the needs are totally different, and then even there too, what I think is a need and what my husband thinks is a need is sometimes they don't correlate. They don't match up at all, So, but yeah, tell me how do you do that? What's your strategy for those things? But anyway, today we are actually not doing a random sass soap. Today we are talking about bottling witch hazels and my new theory, my new process. It's not really a process. My new bottling of the witch hazels and how I am doing it now, and I just love it. So anyway, 3 things: be kind, be forgiving, be you. And let's go check out these really cute witch hazels. Okay, and to start, some of this footage is gonna look really familiar because we made when I was showing you how I did my batch sheets. So instead of pulling one, I was gonna pull one from way back, but then I thought, oh, this one's close enough, maybe you didn't see it. So But I've always been saving some bottles to put my witch hazels and my glycerites and all those things into, and finally got down to doing it. Okay, so we're just gonna make a simple witch hazel here, which is the rose one, and very easy to do. You just, weigh it in the jar. I'll actually post the other video below because there might be more information in that one. I always mix a little bit of alcohol in it first and let it set for like maybe a half an hour, and from there I will add whichever witch hazel I am using. You can get 100% witch hazel, which has a preservative in it. You can get witch hazel, which has 14% alcohol. Both are good. A lot of people say the one with the alcohol is more drying. I have not found that to be true. Okay, so I'm just going to put that out there. You use whichever one you prefer. Okay, so after that, after I let them sit, I put, you do all the things when you're extracting. You put the wax paper on, you date and label it, because let me tell you, it doesn't matter if it's a week later or a year later. You will forget what is in that jar and what the heck was I doing and what is this. And at least if it's labeled and documented, as the sheet shows, you are just gonna pat yourself on the back and be like, thank heaven I remembered to do this. One thing about extracting rose witch hazel, you are going to get a very pretty red color if you only extract it for a few days. Okay, so if you are going for cosmetic color looks, definitely don't do it very long. Okay, you'll get a beautiful red color within a day or two, and then you might want to stop there. However, I want to get all the properties and benefits out of those rose petals, so I'm going to extract them for at least 2 weeks, which is what is there. And they, as you can see, there's hardly any color left in those beautiful red rose petals. However, the color of my witch hazel isn't going to be that beautiful red color. No, because everything's been extracted, and so it's going to be more of a reddish brown, burnt sienna type of look. Actually, this one I think I did, because I was using it right away. It is a very pretty red. It was extracted shortly after. I'm like going, which one was this? Just because, yes, it's going to be, yeah, it was used up. It's done, which is why I needed more. But as you can see, this one is more of a brown color, and those rose petals are like completely like drained out white, right? That's just how it is, because I want the cosmetic properties. I do not care what the end rose petals look like. I'm not using them again. They will be compost or something. And as always, you want to make sure you squeeze out all the juice, all the witch hazel out of that as you possibly can. There's some things where you don't squeeze it all out, but they were dry. This is witch hazel, so yes, squeeze them all out. Now, before we get to the other process, cleaning the jars, I like to put them in boiling hot water. I put the knife in to hold it down, and I let them soak for a while. And then I take the label off. Now, if I can't get the label off totally like you see here, I will use Goo Gone and just let it soak it up. And eventually they come right off, and they're beautiful. Okay, and you've seen me strain them many times, but however, the thing is they sit in that jar overnight, 2 to 3 days, if you want, to let the sediment from the straining process settle to the bottom, and then you pour it into the glass jar. I forgot to weigh how much I had, because like I always say, if you want to know your actual cost of it, it's what you started with, and how much you have left is all important, right? Well, you need to know how much you have left, but it's also good to know, that way you can work out yeah, I'm not going to do the math today, you guys. You need the start, the end. It's like filling your tank with gas and how many miles did you get per gallon, you know? Okay, it's similar to that. And then I got these really cool stickers in one of my packages of jars, and they're just adorable. So I will label it WH stands for witch hazel. If it's a glycerin or glycerite, I can't remember if I just put G or if I put glycerite. I think you'll see at the end. But anyway, yeah, they're just great and they're cute. So I am slowly upgrading my glycerites and witch hazels and all those things into these beautiful brown jars. Isn't that awesome? I just love it. And as always, I hope you had a good time. Thank you for dropping by. I will see you next time, and God bless.